الله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الغر الميامين ولعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم: من كنت مولاه فعلي مولاه، اللهم والي من والاه وعاد من عاداه. أما بعد. So today is our 8th session regarding the topic of the Imamat of Ameer al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam that we have been going forward. And in the initial discussions, we obviously discussed the importance of Imama, what Imamat is, and how can it be a part of Usuluddin, and what are the Shia and Sunni concept of the Imama. We went further and then we started discussing about the logical and the Quranic proofs for the Shia concept of the Imama. And then we came to the Sunni concept of the imama, and obviously the verses in Quran they might use to prove that the imamat is true counsel. We went through those verses and we gave a good and relevant explanation and something which matches the whole context of the literature we have. Then we went through, specifically we stepped into the proofs that we have for the wilaya and the khilafah of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. We started with the example of Talut alayhi salatu wassalam. We used the yardstick of someone who is most knowledgeable and someone who is most courageous, or the bravest person of all should be the person that is more worthy of being given the khilafah or the imama. Now we come to another topic, which is about the wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen. So sometimes we would use the word khilafah, sometimes we would use the word imama, sometimes we would use the word wilaya. What is wilaya? Wilaya is the authority of the people over you. That's called wilaya, right? Simple definition. More details will be followed as we proceed more, inshallah, in this discussion. So wilaya simply means the authority someone has over you. That's called wilaya, right? Generally, I'm saying it has more meanings over you. It has more meanings, but generally we would start our lecture like this, right? Inshallah, in this lecture from Quran, we will prove in the next lecture from the hadith, we will prove the wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, and also we would discuss the meaning of the word wilaya, right? And the wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen, why? Because sometimes when we are saying this thing in adhan, ashhadu anna Amir al-Mu'mineen wa imam al-muttaqeen aliyan waliyullah, right? So this waliyullah, when this comes in, then obviously people have problems with it. They would say, how can you say Ali as waliyullah? How can you do this this testimony, this shahada, this gawahi, right? In your adhan, right? How can Amir al-Mu'mineen be waliyullah? How can he be an authority from Allah over the people? Well, we believe that Fulan and Fulan and Fulan, those three were the authority before Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. Why? Because we have this belief that Amir al-Mu'mineen was the wali or the khalifa, wa khalifatuhu bila faslin. Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam was the khalifa, was the successor of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam without any gap, without any one coming in between. So this is our concept. So a relevant question comes in that how can we prove the wilaya of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam? And that's a really relevant question that people might have in their mind, right? The ayah that we generally use and the Shia theologians have generally used is what? It's called ayatul wilaya. And this ayatul wilaya is really beautiful. Take out Quran and go to the 5th surah, Suratul Ma'idah, right? In Suratul Ma'idah, verse number 55. 5 is the chapter name, the chapter number is 5, name is Ma'idah. The verse is what? 55. So 555. It says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. That only God, See, the word here, let me just tell you, the word here is used innama, right? This is an important word to consider. It's not says inna, right? Inna waliyukumullah, right? Something like this. Inna waliyukumullah. Perhaps the better way to say that. It doesn't say this. It says innama waliyukumullah. It came with this ma, right? Inna ma. And if you would remember what is innama, innama yuridu Allahu liyudhhiba ankum russa ahl al-bayti wa yutahhirakum tathhira. This innama is coming there too. What is innama? Innama is called the huruf al-hasr. It's like something that will make it, the ma when it comes in on inna, it makes it something really specific, and it gives the meaning of only and only, right? Remember this thing. It gives the meaning of what? Only and only. So it says that innama waliyukum Allah, only and only God, right? Only God, wa rasuluhu, and his messenger, walladina amanu, and those believer. What are those believers? What are the qualities of those believers? It says the true believers, right? The tense here which is used here is walladina amanu, right? It's not walladhi amana, right? It's not singular, it's used plural. And why would we only apply to Amir al-Momnin? Inshallah, more details will be followed, right? And the true believers who are standing in their prayers, alladhina yuqimuna as-salah, who are standing in their prayers, wa yu'tuna az-zakah, and while they are standing, they are giving the zakat, wa hum raki'un, and while they are praying, obviously when they are standing in the prayers, they are in the state of ruku, right? So who are the believers that are in the state of ruku? And while they are in the state of ruku, what they are doing is that they are giving the charity at that moment. This is called al-hal. In Arabic, this whole sentence comes under the hal. Hal means like as if I say, oh, I saw you that day while you were eating biryani. Okay? I saw you that day while you were driving the car. So I saw you, and then I mentioned what you were doing at that time, the hal. This is called hal in Arabic, right? So you are the dhu hal, and then there's the hal coming in. So you were, I saw you, you were the dhu hal. And what is hal? What you were doing. I saw you yesterday while you were eating. I saw you last week while you were driving. I saw you last year while you were doing the ziyarah of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. This is called what? This is called hal, right? So here there are two kinds of specifications that Allah has in his kalam, in his words, right? What are those two specifications? Firstly, the word used is what here? Innama. It's not inna. Innama, as we have spoken, it gives the meaning of hasal. It gives you the meaning of only and only, that only and only these are your walis. These are your awliyas. The second hasar, or the second specification came in, is that it's not talking about every believer. It's only talking about the group of believers that give zakat while they are bent in the state of ruku. Wow, so there is a specific kind of zakat. Not everyone who's giving zakat, he's not included in it. Only the person who is praying, firstly. Secondly, he's in state of ruku. He is bending down like this. And third is that while he is in that state of ruku, he would give zakat in that state of ruku. So you have three things coming in. Now, who is that specific personality? So we came to know that the wilayah is with Allah, his messenger, and the people that are giving the zakat while they are in the ruku. Now we have to see that who is that person, and as soon as we get the answer, we would be sure that he and only he is the wali of Allah over the believers. And he is the worthy, and he is the one that should get the Khilafah after the demise, after Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam leaves this world. How can we prove that Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam is the one that is mentioned in this ayah? Because see, when you are discussing with someone, right, when you are discussing with a personality, you would bring them the proofs and their answer would be that, see, brother, whatever you have said, perhaps it's right, but I don't think so that the traditions that you're quoting or the reports that you were quoting, that Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam is the mistaq, is the one that through which this ayah was revealed. I don't believe it. Why? Because the traditions or the reports or the literature that we have regarding this thing, it's weak. Sanadan, it's not accepted. So before we go, so what happened was that Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam was praying. And while he bent it and went into the state of ruku, a sa'il came in. Someone who is asking for money, he came in. And he asked, oh, is there any Muslim that can help me and can give me some stuff, some charity? Then some of the riwayah said, no one answered. He said it once more, and then when he repeated, then Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, while he was in the state of ruku, he just extended his hand like this. And when he extended his hand like this, the person, right, the person who was begging, the beggar, he came to know that Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam wants him to take this, right? To take what? To take the ring and to use that ring for whatever he wants to. Perhaps he can go, he can sell it, and then whatever money comes in, he can use it for his own benefit. And then when Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam performed this act, this ayah was revealed. What was this ayah that we have gone through? Now, one of the objections that is being put forward by Sunni scholars, and likewise like the likes of Ibn Taymiyyah and likes of others, they bring the shkal that the tradition that says this is not authentic. The riwayah that have been quoted to us regarding Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam being the person that was giving the zakah, was giving the charity, are not correct, are not authentic. So what is our answer to it? Now, inshallah, we will go into the answers. The first answer is that it is quoted in Tafsir Ibn Abi Hatim. The person asked Imam Abu Ja'far, Imam Baqir alayhi salatu wassalam, that who was the person to whom it was revealed the Ayatul Wilayah? Like, who was the one in this ayah who gave the charity while he was in the state of ruku? So Imam Baqir alayhi salatu wassalam said, one of the riwayah says, that it was nazalat fi aliyin, that it was revealed for Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, because Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam is among those believers that gave their charity while they were in the state of ruku. The second reference is from the same Tafsir of Nabi Hatim, and this quotation is from a different scholar, a different tabi'i. I think he's a tabi'i if I'm not wrong. It's from Salma bin Quhayl. Salma bin Quhayl says that تصدق علي بخاتمه وهو راكع, that Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam gave his ring as a charity, and when he gave this ring as a charity, then this ayah was revealed, إنما وليكم الله ورسوله, and this ayah continues. So we have two huge figures that are testifying to this fact. Now we have from Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya, and this time it is mentioned from Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, that Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam is quoting it, that he was standing and he was praying. Suddenly a beggar came in. وَإِذَا سَائِلٌ فَقَالَ يَا سَائِلٌ, هل أعطاك أحد شيئا فقال لا إلا هذاك الراكع لعلي أعطاني خاتمه. The Prophet asked, oh beggar, did anyone give you anything? Then he said, no one gave me anything. It is only Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. While he was praying, he gave his ring to me. So this is from Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. Now, perhaps someone might say that there might be some problems with this chain and perhaps this might not be right. So our first answer is that I quoted two traditions from whom? Tafsir Ibn Abi Hatim, right? Ibn Abi Hatim is who? Ibn Abi Hatim has said in his tafsir, in the introduction of the book, that أنه لا يروي إلا الصحيح, right? That he would only quote the authentic traditions. This is not what verbatim what I'm quoting, but this is what he has written in his introduction. And likewise, Ibn Taymiyyah in his book Minhaj al-Sunnah. Now, this is the same Ibn Taymiyyah that will go to any length, that will go to any extreme to prove that Amir al-Mu'mineen fadails were fabricated. He had a special hatred for Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, and a special hatred for the Shias of Ahlul Bayt alayhi wassalam. So he was a proper mixture. He was a person that had the biggest problem and the biggest issue. He has said, right, that the tafsir of Abi Hatim is among those tafsir that doesn't quote the fabricated traditions, that doesn't quote fabricated reports, which means that tafsir of Abi Hatim, generally the reference that I have given, generally the references that's coming from that tafsir are not fabricated. This is the research of whom? Of the author Ibn Abi Hatim and also Ibn Taymiyyah. Likewise, we have who? Likewise, we have Suyuti in Lubab al-Nuqul. It's one of the tafsir he has written. He has said that Warawa ibn Marduwiya. Ibn Marduwiya was a scholar, right? من وجه آخر عن Ibn Abbas مثله. That Ibn Marduwiya has quoted from Ibn Abbas. And the same thing is quoted from Ali, and likewise Tabari has quoted from Mujahid, and Ibn Abi Hatim has quoted from Salma bin Kuhayl. And then he says a really important thing. I really need every one of you to concentrate on this point. He says, فَهَذِهِ الشَّوَاهِدْ يُقَوِّي بَعْضُهَا بَعْضًا. That all these proofs, someone quoting from Ibn Abbas, someone quoting from Amir al-Mu'mineen, someone quoting from Mujahid ibn Jabr, someone quoting from Ibn Abi Hatim, quoting from Salma bin Kuhayl. If you combine all these references, you would know that this tradition is authentic. Why? Because one after another, it is strengthening each other. So do you come across this point? That these multiple narrations that you come across, one after another, are strengthening each other. So you have scholars that have testified this fact, that this ayah was revealed for Amir al-Mu'mineen. So the people that have problem with the fadila of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the people that have the issues with the merits of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and they don't have anything to do but to criticize each and every merit that came in the fadila of Amir al-Mu'mineen, they should reflect upon this point, that it was Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam who was the one that was given such a huge achievement, such a huge honor by Allah Almighty. Likewise, if you would have remembered, and if I want to go through, there are two kinds of traditions that we have. I already discussed it last time. The one are called what? Isolated narrations, which are called akhbarul ahad. Those are called akhbarul ahad, which are the isolated narrations that have come to us through few chains, and that they haven't come to us through multiple chains, right? The other kind of traditions that we have, the other kinds of hadith that we have, the other kinds of authenticity level that we have for different reports is for what? It's called mutawatir. Mutawatir is called something which has come time and again and again in a way that we don't have any shak, we don't have any doubt regarding the authenticity of it. Those are called what? Mutawatir, right? So now we will go and what is the ruling? So when we have reports which are mutawatir, and this is a fundamental point, I want all of you to keep a close eye on it and also understand what I'm trying to say. The isolated narrations that we have that have come to us through one singular chain or maybe like two or three chains, those kind of narrations we will go into the rijal. Those kind of narrations we will analyze the kind of people that are quoting it. Imagine if I am quoting you, like let me give you a small example that will make it easy for you to understand. Let me tell you, if I am saying that, oh, government has announced this policy, and let's suppose you haven't heard it from someone else somewhere else. So this is an isolated chain that came to you and you only know the source of the news through one person. Then a second person came in. Again, the level of authenticity, it got up, but again, you are not 100% sure. Perhaps those two people might have made some error or they might have deliberately lied. Then you have third person confirming the same thing. Then you have fourth person confirming the same thing. And a time comes in that you have 15 or 20 people confirming the same news. And they all are getting the news from different outlets. And now you are sure that yes, the news that have come to me has come to me, has reached me through so many multiple sources that there is no way that they can be in error or they can be lying altogether. Right? Imagine I haven't been to Brazil. I haven't been to Paraguay. But does it mean if I haven't been there, those countries are not existing? Those countries are existing. And obviously, it's a big country with big people. Why? Because I have got news from so many outlets through news, through people, through newspaper, and so many other outlets that there's a country called Brazil. There is a country called Paraguay. They have different cities within it. So I have no doubt left in my mind that actually those countries are in Earth, right? Even though I have not been there physically, even though I haven't seen it through my physical eyes, I haven't been there on the land. But I know for sure, I'm 100% sure that those countries, they exist in this earth. Likewise, likewise, when we have two kinds of chains, one is through singular chain and the one is through multiple chains, then the one that has come to us through multiple chains, there is no doubt about the authenticity. So anyone doubting about the authenticity, you can go and then you can show them, like, look, in Ad-Durr al-Manthur, it is quoted through Ibn Abbas. Likewise, the second companion, the first companion is Ibn Abbas. I'm just giving you the list. The second companion is what? Ammar ibn Yasir, right? And it is quoted through Ammar ibn Yasir too. And likewise, it is quoted through different other sources. Like what? It is quoted to us through Amir al-Mu'minin, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam, again in the book Ad-Durr al-Manthur of Suyuti. Likewise, it's quoted from Abu Rafi', again the name of the book as Ad-Durr al-Manthur. Likewise, it is also quoted from Anas ibn Malik, and the quote, and this quote is mentioned in Shawahid al-Tanzil. Likewise, it is quoted from Jabir bin Abdullah al-Ansari. The name of the book is again what? Shawahid al-Tanzil. The seventh companion is what? Abu Dhar al-Ghaffari, rahmatullahi alayhi, radiyallahu anhu alayhi salam, in Shawahid al-Tanzil again, right? And then we have another source from Miqdad ibn Aswad, radiyallahu anhu alayhi salam. Again, the book Shawahid al-Tanzil. And then we have from Abdullah ibn Salam. And this one is from where? From Zakhair al-Uqba of Tabari. Different Tabari. There's one Tabari that has written the Tariq al-Tabari or Tafsir al-Tabari, but this is a different Tabari, right? And likewise, we have from Hassan ibn Thabit, right? And this is where it's mentioned in Ruhul Ma'ani. And likewise, even in, it is quoted through whom? It is even quoted through Amr ibn As, la'natullahi alayhi. Amr ibn As, even in Al-Manaqib by Khawazami, it is quoted through Amr ibn As. And likewise, Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wassalam is quoting it through whom? Is quoting it through Ammar ibn Yasir from in book Al-Mu'jam al-Awsat of Tabarani. So you see that there are multiple sources. So I have given you around 12 companions that have quoted this. Amir al-Mu'minin, Imam Hassan, Ammar Yasir, Abu Dhar, and then we have Miqdad, and all these companions and all these respected personalities, they have quoted this tradition, and it has been quoted that Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wassalam was the one that gave this thing as a charity. So now one of the objection, and you would have come across that the verse actually says وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, right? While you are saying that it's only mentioned for Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wassalam. Only Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wassalam is mentioned when it comes to the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. How can you say a plural can be used for a singular? So we have an answer for it, right? So plural are of two types. Plural are of type 1, which gives you the adad, which gives you the numberings, right? So let's suppose if I'm using plurals in English, generally it refers to 2 or more, right? But sometimes plural, it also refers to the plural of dignity. Let's suppose when you hear from a majesty, like let's suppose from Buckingham Palace, they are so-called majesty, I would say, but from Buckingham Palace, right? They are announcing something, and they announced, what did they announce? They are announcing that we have come to know about this news, and we are trying to implement this, and we will be taking action like this and that. So this we that you see, even though there's one single person that's saying it, but just because it is a plural of dignity or honor, even though one person is saying it, but it has to resemble, it has to reflect the honor and the respect of that person. So that's why they're using we. Likewise, if you would see in Quran, it says inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidun, that verily we are the one that have revealed the dhikr, and we are the one that will take care, will protect the dhikr. What is dhikr? Some people say it's Quran, some people have different understanding of it. Let's suppose we take the meaning of Quran. Who is the one that has revealed Quran? Were there multiple people that revealed Quran, or was it only one person that, or not one person, should I say, one being of Allah Almighty that revealed Quran? It was only Allah Almighty that revealed Quran. But Allah is using we have revealed. Do you get my point? We have revealed. Ya Allah, you're only singular. And na'udhu billah, even if you think about another one, that clearly reflects that we are associating partners with you. How can we say this? But the answer we might get from Allah is that this we doesn't mean that I am more than one. We means as a plural of respect and of dignity. And likewise, we have another ayah, and this ayah is where it is mentioned in Quran. It says that لقد سمع الله قول الذين قالوا إن الله فقير ونحن أغنياء. God certainly has heard the words of those who said, those, not one person, it's referring to multiple people. God is poor and we are wealthy. We are wealthy, right? Now, if you go through the books of tafsir, this is Tafsir al-Baghawi, and also if you can go to Tafsir al-Tha'labi, right? It says that actually the person who said we here were not multiple people. It was actually one person. His name was what? Hayy bin Akhtab. Hayy bin Akhtab was the person that said this. So even though we have multiplicity of the dhamir here, right? Nahnu, but it only means one person. So this is not something which is different, which is something out of blue. And last thing that I want to say, and inshallah, rather I think we are done over the time. Inshallah, I'll continue my discussion over this love, this word wali, inshallah, in the next class. But one thing we have established in this lecture is that the wali, there are three walis only. One is Allah, and the second is His Messenger, and the third is a specific group of people that will give the zakat while they are in the state of ruku'. There is no one else that has authority over us other than these people. With this, I end my presentation for today. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi al-tahirin.